Imagine it's your 18th birthday, or 21st in America, and you're lucky enough to not look your age. You go to a bar to celebrate, but the bouncer at the door won't let you in without proving you're old enough. You have ID with your name and date of birth written on them, and you've been waiting for this moment for some time. So you hand the ID over. The bouncer carries out the required authenticity checks, checking you meet the minimum age requirements, but also that you look like the picture on the ID. Once verified, the bouncer provides you with a badge to show your ID has been checked, and now you're free to enter and order drinks without having to show your ID every time. But how does this relate to authentication? In SAML, or Security Assertion Markup Language, the ID check is the equivalent of asking for your credentials in an application or browser. The bouncer is the equivalent of an access control system that is verifying authenticity on behalf of a service provider. In this case, the service is the pouring of beer into a glass for your enjoyment. The access control system first checks for an authentication token or badge, and when it doesn't see one, it prompts you to show your ID. The details you enter are checked against an identity provider, or IDP. In this scenario, the IDP is the government body that issued the ID, and you're now granted access to the service. A little tangent before we go any further. In authentication terms, there are three factors: something you know, like a password; something you are, like biometrics, fingerprint scans or iris checks; and something you have, like a prompt being sent to a phone or token generating app. A bouncer checking your ID is two-factor authentication because it's something you have, the ID, and something you are, your face. One won't work without the other, access will be denied. Another simple example is a bank card at an ATM. The card is something you have, providing a PIN number satisfies the thing you know. If you only have one without the other, you can't access your cash. If you only need to provide a password, that's known as single-factor authentication. If you also have to provide a 6-digit code that changes every 30 seconds, or press your fingerprint on your phone screen, then you're now using multiple factors or multi-factor authentication. The IDP can carry out some basic checks, such as the location or device you're using to see if they're normal and expected, but it should prompt you to provide a secondary proof of legitimacy. The more authentication factors you provide, the less likely someone else can pretend to be you. Once your identity is confirmed with the IDP, you're issued a token or badge. The badge is proof that you've passed authentication, and just like that, you can now enjoy your beer. This is your birthday, and you don't want to limit yourself to just one bar, and you decide to kick on to the next venue. Unfortunately, if the next venue uses a different bouncer service, then they may not trust the original badge or token, so you're going to have to show your ID again. Annoying, right? This is the equivalent of the organisation you work for using many different applications and allowing you to access them with the same central credentials, typically your corporate account on Microsoft or Google. Now imagine instead of carrying your ID everywhere, there's a different type of badge that every bouncer in town recognises. You show it once, and then you're free to hop from bar to bar without pulling out your ID every time. Because both venues use the same IDP for verification, they can both trust an enhanced security token if it's issued by the IDP. In a digital world, this magical badge is single sign-on or SSO. You log in once with your primary credentials at a central authentication service. This service then provides a token that all your other applications recognize and trust, and you're granted access to multiple applications without logging in again. This technical process ensures that user identities are securely managed and authenticated, allowing for seamless and secure access to multiple services. It's convenient and secure, you don't have to remember multiple passwords, and you minimize the risk of password-related breaches because your actual login details never touch the website, making things more secure. So raise your glass to safer and seamless authentication with SAML and single sign-on. Cheers!